What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and it's time for our Week 6 recap from the college football season. Normally we do each conference in a separate video. Today I'm just going to have them all here on one video and kind of go through them a little bit quicker. Long story, but I don't know if I'll be doing this moving forward or not. You can let me know what you think about it. But Louisville at NC State, Thursday night, great game. I predicted NC State would win this game. I'm still very high on this team. Even from the preseason, I had them winning this game. Louisville just doesn't play a whole lot of defense, and Lamar Jackson just cannot do it all on his own, and I think that has been proven. NC State now with a legitimate chance to win the ACC. All they have to do really is beat Clemson at home, and they're the front runners. They will likely win the ACC. I don't really know if I don't think that's going to happen. I thought that preseason, but now not so sure. Clemson's just been so much better than I thought they would be because of the offense and Kelly Bryant. Speaking of Clemson, they win 28-14. This game wasn't even this close. They were up 28-7 until a late touchdown. So Clemson looked good. Wake Forest, not a bad team. So yeah, no real surprises here. You could really say the score should have been like 28-7 if they had, played with the same intensity all game long. Duke at Virginia. This was a good game. Virginia wins it. They had a little bit of a comeback in this one. Benkert has played very well for them. And look how Virginia now is 4-1. They got a win over Boise State, now a win over Duke. I don't think they're a serious contender in the ACC, but they are definitely much better than I originally thought they would be. Pitt at Syracuse. I think Pittsburgh has solidified themselves as the worst team in the ACC. I've had them at the bottom of my power rankings for a few weeks now, and they just proved it here with a loss to Syracuse. Nice win for Syracuse, 365 yards for Dungy. He had a big game, and that's a big win for Syracuse. Miami at Florida State, possibly the game of the week. I really thought Florida State was going to pull it off when they got that late touchdown. Here comes Miami. Looked like they were going to kick the field goal, go to overtime. They had an incredible play to win the game. Hats off to Miami. This was a great performance. I thought Florida State really showed up and played well in this game. I picked them to pull off the upset. Obviously, it didn't happen. This game could have gone either way. And I do think Miami is a very good team, but I'm still not convinced that they are a playoff contender. We will see moving forward. They're going to have some tough tests coming up. Virginia Tech, Notre Dame. We'll see how it goes in those games. But this was an impressive win for them. Notre Dame at North Carolina. No Brandon Wimbush, no problem. Notre Dame still rolls 33-10. Now the question really is, who's the worst team in the ACC, North Carolina or Pitt? Because they're both just terrible right now. North Carolina dealing with a lot of injuries, so maybe they have a little bit of an excuse, but still they are playing pretty bad football right now. Let's see, we're still in the ACC. Virginia Tech at Boston College. Virginia Tech 23-10. They outgained them 429-333. A little bit surprised Virginia Tech didn't put up more points in this game, but still an easy win. Game was never in doubt, and Virginia Tech 5-1, looking pretty good. Now we're going to move on to the Big Ten. Illinois at Iowa. Let's see. Iowa won this one 45-16. It was close for a while, but the Hawkeyes pull away. And don't count them out there in the Big Ten West. They got a lot of work to do, and will need some help, but they got a shot. Still a tough schedule as well, so it's pretty much Wisconsin's, but you never know. Penn State rolls over Northwestern. This one stayed close for a little while, and I've really been impressed with Penn State and Trace McSorley. When Barkley gets taken away, McSorley has played very well. Their defense also playing very well. Penn State, my national championship pick preseason. If I had to pick right now, I probably would not pick them, but I do think they have a great shot to get to the playoffs. Minnesota at Purdue. Purdue wins this one 31-17. Again, Purdue has really been a surprise team this year in the Big Ten. They continue to play well, and they get the win here, 31-17. All right, let's go on now to Charleston Southern at Indiana. Indiana 27-0, easy win for them. Ramsey 322 yards playing quarterback. They got two really good quarterbacks there at Indiana, and I still think they're going to upset somebody. It's going to be Michigan or Wisconsin maybe, if they're going to get somebody. Maryland at Ohio State, and this is exactly what I thought might happen here. I thought Ohio State may play really well in this game and really show that they are for real. They're over that first loss. They're playing so much better. This is a pretty good Maryland team to go out and score 62 points. That is very impressive. I think Ohio State may be on a path to the playoffs. They get Penn State at home. Other than that, they get Michigan on the road. That's going to be a tough one to finish out the year. But they look like they are a serious contender, and I think Ohio State is on a mission to get back to the playoffs, and they keep getting better week after week. All right, how about Michigan State upsetting Michigan on the road in the rain? 5 turnovers for the Wolverines. That was really the difference in this one. I think they would have won pretty easily if they just would have took care of the football. Michigan probably out of it in the Big Ten, honestly, because I don't see them beating Penn State, Wisconsin, and Ohio State, and 2 losses is not going to get it. Michigan State's still undefeated in the conference. I don't see them beating, Penn State and Ohio State either. So I think it's really going to come down to that Penn State-Ohio State game in the Big Ten East. This is a tough one for Michigan. They're going to have to somehow bounce back. The schedule is going to get much tougher for them. We'll see how they, how they do the rest of the year. They got to find some offense. Wisconsin at Nebraska. Wisconsin, another slow start here. Nebraska was hanging around in this game for a while. That seems to be the theme for the Badgers. They don't play all that well at the beginning of the game, then they pull away and just go on a tear in the second half. When they play a really good team, I don't know if this is going to work. They have not played. Every team Wisconsin's played this year has 3 or more losses, so they really have not played anybody. So I'm not totally convinced, but I do think they win the West easily in the Big Ten. No real threat from anybody there. Moving on to the SEC now, Auburn over Ole Miss, 44-23. This one was, I think, 35-3 or 38-3. I can't remember for sure at halftime. I was really, as an Auburn fan, disappointed with the second half. They just seemed like they didn't. I mean, the game was over and they didn't really care. They weren't playing that hard. I really hope that does not carry over to the LSU game. Ole Miss came out in the second half and played really hard. If they play like that, they're going to win some games this year. But again, I don't know exactly what was going on. Maybe they were really conservative with the play calling. But hopefully, again, that does not carry over to the game against LSU, which now looks like it may be a little bit tougher after LSU got that win over Florida. Georgia at Vanderbilt, no problems here. Georgia wins at 45-14. And if you're comparing Georgia and Alabama, it really wasn't close. Alabama dominated against Vanderbilt. I mean, they did a whole lot better than Georgia did. So there's a comparison there between those two teams. We compared Georgia and Auburn against Mississippi State. Pretty much even, but Georgia did not dominate against Vanderbilt the way Alabama did. Okay, LSU at Florida. Man, this one could have gone either way. Great game. I thought Florida would probably find a way to pull it out. They're just really good at winning those close games. But hats off to LSU. They showed a lot of toughness in this game, finding a way to win. And, yeah, they welcome the Auburn Tigers into Baton Rouge next weekend, which I think that's going to be a good game. I don't think Auburn is going to go in there and blow them out. I think it's going to be tough for them just to win that game. So big win here for LSU, getting things turned around. Ed Orgeron trying to keep his job. All right, Arkansas at South Carolina. Boy, I tell you what, Arkansas is starting to look like they might be the worst team in the SEC. South Carolina finally gets back to playing like they had been playing early in the season. I think, 3 defensive touchdowns in this game for them. They were just playing really good in this game. The crowd was into it. Big win for South Carolina, who is still maybe alive in the East. It's going to be tough, but if they can beat Georgia, you never know. Alabama at Texas A&M. This is on my upset alert. Everybody thought I was stupid for saying Texas A&M had a chance in this game. Well, look what happened. I thought this might happen. I just could see it maybe coming. And if you take out the turnovers, Texas A&M might have, really had a chance to win this game. I think the total yardage was about even in this game, but those turnovers really hurt Texas A&M, especially the one in the red zone. But Alabama survives and really doesn't have any more big games, tough games until Auburn at the end. Maybe LSU, but I doubt it. Kentucky 40-34 over Missouri. Probably the best game Missouri has played all season. They still came up short. Kentucky, which Kentucky team are we going to see moving forward? They've really looked bad at times, and they've looked pretty good at times. I just don't know. I can't figure that team out. Now we move on to the Big 12. Texas Tech at Kansas. Texas Tech rolls 65-19. This Texas Tech team is looking pretty good. The one loss to Oklahoma State in a close game. We'll see. I think they can play with anybody in the Big Ten. Look for an upset maybe to come somewhere down the road. Iowa State at Oklahoma. Here you go. This was by far the biggest upset of the weekend. I don't know if Oklahoma was looking ahead to Texas or what. Iowa State didn't have their starting quarterback. How about Joel Lanning playing both ways? What a college football player he is. This was just a crazy game. it happens sometimes in college football. So Oklahoma a few weeks ago beats Ohio State. They dominate against Ohio State. Look like they may be the best team in college football. Now they lose to Iowa State at home. It's just, you can't figure out college football. It is so tough to predict. And we'll see how Oklahoma bounces back. They're not out of it, you know, as far as getting to the playoffs. It's going to be tough. Even if they win out, it'll be tough. They're not out of it. West Virginia at TCU. TCU takes care of business. How about Kenny Hill with a passing, receiving, and rushing touchdown? And TCU finds a way to get it done. Really, if they can get by Oklahoma, there's not a whole lot left on the schedule. TCU is a serious playoff contender. I don't know if they can get it done. I just, you know, every week if they can be able to pull this off, it's going to be tough. I kind of see them slipping up somewhere, but I do think TCU is pretty much guaranteed to get into the Big 12 championship. I think they'll at least be second in the conference, probably going to be first. All right, Kansas State at Texas, double overtime, great game. Texas has really improved since week 1. The freshman quarterback coming in there, gutsy performance, and this was a nice win for them. They've struggled with Kansas State a little bit in recent years. They find a way to get it done. That defense is playing really good for them. Offense is coming along. I think they'll have a real shot against Oklahoma this weekend, and I think they've got maybe a chance to compete in the Big 12. They don't have a conference loss, so don't count them out just yet. All right, now that's it for the Big 12. We're going to go to the Pac-12 now. Oregon State at USC. USC wins 38-10. They did what you would expect them to do. Oregon State is terrible. I mean, they are absolutely terrible. So this doesn't really say a whole lot to me for USC. I mean, I actually would have thought maybe they would have won this game by more. But still an easy win. Sam Darnold has a nice game. Arizona upsets Colorado. Is it really an upset? I don't know. It's 3 losses in a row for Colorado. Arizona gets it done on the road by 3. This was a nice win for Arizona. They're trying to make some noise here in the Pac-12. Tough loss for Colorado. They are now out of it. Okay, who's next? Washington State at Oregon. Without Justin Herbert in there for Oregon, they really didn't have a chance in this game. Washington State is too good. And Washington State, don't count this team out now. They are a playoff contender. Obviously, they're going to have to win, go undefeated. I don't know if they can do that. But if they can, could we really be seeing Washington State in the college football playoffs? That would be pretty wild, but it could happen. All right, Stanford at Utah. Big win for Stanford. They're now 4-2, and they've got some momentum. Bryce Love continues to look like maybe the best running back in college football. This was a road win for them against a very good Utah team. Stanford, I think, has a real shot to win that Pac-12 North. They got to beat Washington. It's going to be tough, but they got a real shot at it. Speaking of Washington, they beat Cal 38-7. Pretty good Cal team. This is an impressive win for Washington. They've been complaining about nobody seeing their games or whatever. Maybe no respect, but they really haven't beaten anybody. This may be the best win they've had all year. I mean, really, they haven't played anybody. So we'll see how it does going forward. I'm starting to like Stanford in that Pac-12 North, but Washington, obviously, you have to still look at as the favorite, and we'll see if they go undefeated again. So that's it for this week's recap. We'll be doing the schedule a little bit different this week. I'll talk about that more in the coming days. We'll probably go ahead and start looking at our power rankings tomorrow. And still, we're going to keep with the Wednesdays will be for the previews. We'll have all the previews on Wednesday. So power rankings, playoff eliminator, upset alert, stuff like that is going to be Monday and Tuesday. Just the only thing different really is that I didn't go conference by conference to do this recap. Just kind of did a quicker recap, put all the games here together, all the Power 5 games. So you can let me know, do you like just having it all in one video, or do you like the individual videos for each conference? Go ahead and leave a comment down below. And what were your thoughts on this week? It was a pretty crazy weekend in college football. Way better than last weekend. We had upsets, we had close games, we had overtime games. It was a lot of fun to watch, as the conference schedule is now really, everybody's in conference play now. So this is really the best time of college football. So thanks for watching this video, and stay tuned for more here on the SG1 Sports YouTube channel.